Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, deep-rooted conflict that literally affects every single one of us the moment we pick up our phones. We're talking about the intense collision between mass digital surveillance, the systemic need for authorization, and our fundamental human rights. We're going to explore what it actually means to have a digital identity, and why fighting for your right to remain anonymous might just be the most crucial battle of the modern era. So let's dive right in. To set the stage, former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon actually hit the nail on the head with this thought. Digital privacy isn't just about, hiding what you bought online or keeping your group chats a secret. It's a critical global security issue. The systemic, everyday harvesting of our data, that is the alarm bell he's talking about. It is ringing right now, signaling a massive crisis of digital sovereignty. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover human rights in cyberspace, look at the virtual identity shield, explore the trap of centralization, discuss digital hygiene for professionals, and finally wrap up with the virtual passport solution. Okay, Section 1, Human Rights in Cyberspace and the Global Standards. Let's look at how international organizations have historically tried to protect us. If we look back, privacy laws have a pretty clear progression. Starting way back in 1948 with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a global baseline for privacy was set. This evolved into the 1966 Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which protected against arbitrary interference. By '81, we got Convention 108, the first international treaty directly tackling automated personal data processing. And then, jumping to 2018, we see the EU's GDPR. Now, while these treaties establish a really great baseline, the sheer scale of modern data collection, especially with AI, often totally outpaces these legal frameworks. The tech is just moving way faster than the law. But the law is only half the battle, right? Which brings us to Section 2, the Virtual Identity Shield. This is the idea that you are not your digital footprint. Think about how our existence is split these days. Your real identity is your legal status, your physical actions, your actual biography. But your virtual identity, that's more like a protective layer. It's a mix of roles, fantasies, impulsive clicks, and behavioral shadows. Conflating the two is a really dangerous mistake, because an online avatar or a weird search history absolutely does not equal the human soul. It's a fundamental methodological error for authorities or corporations to judge a person's real, offline character purely by their digital footprint. We are constantly fed this line that if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. But the sources use this brilliant metaphor. Anonymity is simply the right to a closed door in your digital apartment. Think about it. We don't close the bathroom door because we're in there committing a crime. We close it because we have a basic domestic right to privacy. Anonymity is not some criminal treat. It is a fundamental human need. Despite having that right, we're increasingly falling into Section 3, the trap of centralization. It's the single point of failure. Let's define the core architectural problem here. It's called a single point of compromise. This is a centralized vulnerability where just one flaw exposes an entire ecosystem to hackers. What's happening is that everyday convenience is literally being weaponized against our privacy. We're actively trading our closed doors for unified login systems, which creates a massive, highly attractive target for cybercriminals. Let's look at a real-world example from our sources, the VKID ecosystem in Russia. When you use a single unified system like that, compromising just one account cascades into a catastrophic loss of all your social, email, and financial data. It is extreme centralization. Plus, it forces you to link a real phone number, which leads to instant de-anonymization. And because it's a closed system with no independent audits, users are totally blind to its internal vulnerabilities. It is the textbook definition of a single point of failure. Let's bring this down to a human level. In Section 4, Digital Hygiene for Professionals and the Right to Delete. I want you to really ask yourself this. Why is deleting your own messages suddenly considered so suspicious? We've been culturally conditioned to think that deleting data means you're hiding guilt or covering up a crime. But privacy advocates and researchers argue the exact opposite. They argue that deleting your data is just routine digital hygiene. It is an act of digital sovereignty. Take educators, for example. The inherent power dynamics and public scrutiny they face mean a single, entirely innocent message to a student or a parent can be screenshotted, taken completely out of context, and used to forge false accusations that can ruin a career. Deleting chats isn't about hiding, it's about preventing your own words from being weaponized against you. Basically, it's your right to be forgotten. So what's the actual fix for all this? That's Section 5, the virtual passport solution, and how we reclaim our sovereignty. First, we have to look at our daily tools. We are constantly in this tug of war between the systemic need for authorization and our fundamental right to anonymity. Zero-knowledge, decentralized systems like Signal, Matrix, and Gruyere protect your metadata by default through end-to-end encryption. But on the flip side, commercial tools like Viber or centralized hubs like VKID are massive data hoarders. They track exactly who you talk to, when you talk to them, and for how long. Ultimately, the architecture of the app itself dictates your level of freedom.
Take Briar, for instance. It is totally fascinating. It's built for extreme conditions, like natural disasters or state-sponsored internet blackouts. Because it operates completely peer-to-peer, there are zero central servers to hack or shut down. It even works offline by syncing messages via Bluetooth or local Wi-Fi, and it requires no phone number at all to register. It completely removes the single point of failure. It is pure digital resilience.
And this perfectly tees up a proposed legal framework for digital sovereignty, the virtual passport model. How do we balance a state's need for authorization with a citizen's absolute right to anonymity? Well, step 1, a single trusted state registrar securely holds your real biographical data. Step 2, they issue you a virtual ID, basically a digital token that you use to log into web services. And step 3, which is the magic part, absolutely zero real data is ever passed on to third-party corporations.
This model is honestly a huge deal because it solves multiple problems at once. First, it completely prevents corporate profiling. Big tech can't build a psychological profile to manipulate you with ads because they literally don't know who you are. Second, it removes that terrifying single point of failure. And crucially, if a true legal issue pops up, authorities can go to a judge to link the virtual ID to the real person. But for your everyday life, you maintain a solid protective layer over your digital shadow. You're shielded from both hackers and corporate overreach. Which leaves us with a final, pretty crucial thought for this explainer. Look at your own digital habits. As you navigate the web today, ask yourself, are you controlling your digital shadow, or is it controlling you? Are you leaving your digital door wide open just for a little convenience? Or are you treating your digital anonymity like the fundamental human right it truly is? It is definitely time we start taking real ownership of our digital identities. Thanks so much for learning with us today.